December 27, 2014, from the Navy Marine Corps Memorial Stadium in Annapolis, Maryland. It was the Military Bowl between the Cincinnati Bearcats and the Virginia Tech Hokies. So to start off the scoring in the first quarter, Chris Moore hit Gunnar Kiel for a 31-yard touchdown that would put the first points on the scoreboard with about 6 minutes left in the first. That made it 7-0 Cincinnati over Virginia Tech. Then with about 4 minutes left in the first, J.C. Coleman punched it in from a yard out to tie this game up at 7 apiece. And that would be the score after the first quarter. Then in the second quarter, with about 13 minutes left before halftime, Joey Sly hit a 45-yard field goal to give the Hokies the lead with the score Virginia Tech 10, Cincinnati 7. Then with less than a minute left before halftime, Andrew Gantz hit a 25-yard field goal. That tied this game up at 10 apiece. And then on the final play of the first half, Joey Sly hit a 49-yard field goal to give the Hokies back the lead heading into the locker rooms at halftime with the score Virginia Tech 13, Cincinnati 10. Then in the third quarter, it was all Hokies as they put up 14 points, 14 unanswered in the third. With about 11 and a half left, Ryan Malik hit Michael Brewer for a 1-yard touch. Well, Michael Brewer hit Ryan Malik for a 1-yard touchdown pass to make it 20-10 Virginia Tech over Cincinnati. And then less than 2 minutes later, Greg Stroman returned a fumble 12 yards for the touchdown for the defense. And it was now Virginia Tech 27, Cincinnati 10. And that would be the score after 3 quarters of play. And then less than 2 minutes into the fourth quarter, Joey Sly hit a 38-yard field goal, and that would put the Hokies up by 10, as it was now 17 unanswered points in the second half. And if you go back to that final play of the first half, it'd be 20 unanswered, as it was now 30-10 Virginia Tech over Cincinnati. Then about 3 minutes later, Chris Moore caught a 43-yard touchdown pass from Michael Colizimo, and now it was a 13-point game as the Bearcats cut the lead to 13 with the score Virginia Tech 30, Cincinnati 17. And then with about 9 minutes left to play, Joey Sly hit a 33-yard field goal, and that would make it Virginia Tech 33, Cincinnati 17. And the Virginia Tech defense was able to hold Cincinnati off from there out. And the final score, Virginia Tech 33, Cincinnati 17, as the Hokies win the Military Bowl. And in this game, Michael Brewer was 14 for 23 with 94 yards passing, 1 touchdown and 1 interception. He had 17 yards on the ground off of 5 carries. Gunnar Kiel was 14 for 26 with 244 yards passing, 1 touchdown and 2 interceptions. And the leading rusher in this game was J.C. Coleman. He had 25 carries for 157 yards and a touchdown. The leading rusher for the Bearcats was Michael Colizimo. He had 4 carries for 54 yards. He also threw 10 passes. He was 3 for 10 with 70 yards passing and a touchdown. Mike Boone had 10 carries for 49 yards. And the leading receiver in this game was Chris Moore of the Bearcats. He had 4 receptions for 103 yards and 2 touchdowns. Shaq Washington had 5 receptions for 100 yards. And for the Hokies, Isaiah Ford was their leading receiver with 3 receptions for 44 yards. And on defense, Zach Edwards of the Cincinnati Bearcats had an interception. And for the Hokies, Chuck Clark and Kendall Fuller each had picks. So it was a close game. It was tied up 10 apiece. Then the Virginia Tech, they take the lead by 3 going into halftime. And that led to the beginning of 20 unanswered. They were the only team to score in the third. And then that field goal in the fourth made it 20 unanswered. That put them up by 20, and Cincinnati was not able to crawl out of that hole. And so Virginia Tech wins the Military Bowl with the final score, Virginia Tech 33, Cincinnati 17.